Hey everyone. Hi. So we're just waiting on some more peeps. We've got our girls showing up, all the coaches coming in. We've got a few less coaches today, but we're really looking forward to sharing with you some fabulous insights, and we're all learning as we go. This is a really beautiful learning experience for the coaches as well as it is for everyone that's joining us on the journey. So we're going to get started in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, if everyone can just test out their chat box and get practiced in there, I'm going to ask everyone to just tune into what their dream is. Like, what is it in life that you're really wanting at the moment and that you haven't quite got, or that you're questing for, or you're thinking you want more about? And if you can pop it up in the chat box. Also let us know where you are in the world. I know Diana's sitting at the sideline of a cross-country race today. So she's looking very outdoorsy there. And so, yeah, we're really wanting to reconnect with dreaming, I think, today. So what is it that you're here for? What is it that you're wanting? What's drawn you to the Rural Woman? And so that we can get a little bit, deeper or more helpful today, if you're brave enough to pop up what it is that you're looking for into the chat box, we'd love to be able to help you workshop that through. And a little bit different to the way we've run the webinars before, we're going to just check in with everyone once each of the coaches presents, just to see if anyone's got specific questions for that coach. And if you do, then pop them into the chat box. We might even be able to unmute you and bring you in live to the conversation. So we're going to get a little bit more interactive today, and yeah, really encourage you to be thinking about what is it that you're here for? What has drawn you to the Rural Woman? What's drawn you to Full Bloom? What's drawn you to be here on this webinar today? And I'm going to pop up the questions. I asked each of the coaches to do a bit of a workshop for themselves on one of 3 questions, which are pretty common questions that we get from rural women generally, that each of us have had through our own work with clients, and that we're hearing from our community every day. And so I've asked each of the coaches to choose one of those, and they're going to speak to that, just to give you some insights around confidence, time and money. Those seem to be the 3 biggest challenges for people in really getting their dreams and realising their dreams. So hey Aisha, I can never say your name right, I'm sorry. I try and get it right and then I get it wrong because I freak myself out. She's in Ballarat, looking to launch an online community and podcast. That's awesome. Got the website done. Don't have anyone with similar business ideology to talk to. Well, you're in the right place. So it's great to have you here. So I've just popped up the questions in the chat box for everyone so that you've got them there. And yeah, thanks for posting your dream for us. And it looks like we're really already making connections. I love it. I love it. So we want, I think one of our big dreams for Full Bloom and for the Rural Woman and for everyone that we're connecting with is that we're able to be really clear on what it is that we want, and that we're resonant. I wrote myself a note the other day. It says, we know that to the outside world you look successful. You've got all your, you've got your stuff together, you've got things going on, but the inner you's telling you that you're not. And we want to create the space where you can have the inside voice matching the outside success, so that you can feel truly successful, so that you can feel like you're fully blooming. It's called Resonance, and it's a really powerful, powerful tool, whether it's in your life, in business, in your leadership roles, or in your own personal well-being. It's like, how do we get the inside matching the outside? And so how are you reconnecting with those dreams that you've got inside of you that maybe aren't manifesting in the outer world? You've been drawn here for a reason, and we want to know, what is it that you're looking for? What are you needing? Just be thinking about that as each of the coaches responds and shares with you her insight today. So I'm going to hand over to Emma, and if you've got stuff to talk about, if you want to workshop things live, please put it in the chat box, because that's what we're here for. I'm going to hand over to Emma. She's first cab off the rank. Let me just find her so I can unmute her. And Emma's in Port Macquarie today, and yeah, hand over to you, Emma. You are live to go.
Hi. I will start my timer so I don't go over time. So hello, my name is Emma and I'm one of the coaches, and I am talking about the question, I've made money and now I don't know what to do. Feels hollow and I want more than this. If we're going to be talking about the dreaming, I want to go back to a time when I really started this journey for myself and started looking for programs very similar to this. And I actually began in the direct selling industry, and I had a vision when I started, you know, being the stay-at-home mum, wanting to have a particular lifestyle. I had a dream of material things, you know, the kind of house, the car I wanted to drive, you know, the women that I saw that I believed were success to me, you know, with that definition. And I wanted to be that. I didn't want to be who I was. I wanted to be that. So I became quite successful in the direct selling industry, and I still remember when I got to that, and I no longer had to share the stories of other women who had made it, because suddenly it was my story, and the commission checks that I'd earned were suddenly, you know, something to brag about, I suppose, and to be proud of. And I started arriving in the pink car everywhere I went, and, you know, all these things that I thought would allow me to feel like I'd made it, that I was successful. However, when I got there, I still remember standing there at that very first appointment and saying to people, I have achieved, I have earned the overseas trips, I have the offshoot directors, you know, all of these things that I'd looked up to others. And I suddenly caught myself thinking, but I'm still me. I, for some reason, thought I'd be this completely different person and that it would feel different and be different to what it was. And because I was in that role of constantly supporting other people to then get to my level, I kind of found myself in that place where I really started to want more for myself, yet I felt really guilty about that, because on the other side of me were all these women who were like me not that long ago, that were living paycheck to paycheck, that were trying to achieve these material things that define success for them. And they just wanted to get to where I was, you know, same pattern that I'd just gone through. But suddenly I wanted more again, but I was continually pulled between that feeling guilty for wanting more because I should be happy, and then comparing myself to those that were like me 5 minutes ago and thinking I should be grateful for what I have. Why should I want more? Because I have the stuff, you know, I had the nice house and the nice cars and the lifestyle and the income and the cash flow and all the things that I thought once I achieved, that would be it. I'd be completely satisfied. But the truth is, because in our growth and what it is that we achieve personally, that once we get to that place, once we shift that anchor point, then there's always another one, isn't there? And it really comes down to who it is that's sort of in your circle. And I'm not one that agrees with, you know, getting rid of old friends and all that type of stuff, and you become who you hang around. I believe that to a degree, But I also believe in those around you keeping you grounded and keeping you in that place, that memory, to show you that how far you've come also. But just like, sorry, I want to make sure I pronounce it right now because now Rebel scared me. Aisha, just like you've said, for me it then became more of, I loved the people I was hanging around. I loved my friends. I loved my family. I loved all the consultants and the women that I was helping to get to where I was. But at the same time, I felt alone. And I was looking for the people on the other side, because I was forever on this side helping everybody to come to here. And I still remember a consultant saying to me once, "Who's there for you, Em?" And it really hit home for me, because I thought I was forever helping everybody else and trying to, you know, help them get to where I was, yet I wanted more. But I was so caught in that guilt and the gratitude trap that I really hadn't gone and seeked out the people on the other side that were then, you know, had that business ideology, or also dreamt big, where I didn't feel like such a weirdo, or that I should be grateful for what I've got and to settle there, you know, because as you all know, as we grow, our dreams grow with us, don't they? You know, and there's always more. So I just love about this whole program is that not only do you have one mentor or coach on a specific area that you may be actually looking for right now, but at the end of the day, there's 9 of us that are all there that have expertise in all different areas. And at the same time, there's this beautiful group of women that are going to come through that are also in that same boat, that are looking to grow together and stretch themselves, yet at the same time stay grounded in that gratitude of what they have achieved, you know, to celebrate and stretch and to have that really beautiful combination going on. Yeah. Any questions? I'd love to, if there's anything anyone wants to ask about, just going back through a couple of these.
If there's questions, please pop them in or say yes and we'll unmute you. Otherwise, we'll keep calling and keep going. And if you have got questions for Emma, we can always come back at the end as well, or for any of the coaches. So
definitely
pop them in. So next up, we've got Nikki. Thank you, Emma. That was really, yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. It is important for us to remember that on the other side of our comfort zone is what we're actually really looking for, and that each of us actually in this process is leaning into our discomfort as well as we grow and stretch together. So Nikki, I'm going to hand over to you.
The question that I chose is the one around time, and time has been something over the years that has really driven me when I look back. I was an absolute time Nazi in my younger days. I can remember when the kids were still at home and, you know, that mad rush in the morning to get to school buses, and I made sure I left at this time to arrive at that time so I didn't waste time. And, you know, I look back and I can still fall into that mould of time every so often. And it's really been an interesting journey for me, because I started to question, well, whose time was it? And, you know, did somebody else own the time? Did I deserve time? And the whole time and money thing became this very mishmashed, uncomfortable place to be in. And it really was quite painful. And then the more I pondered back into that, I really started to realise that there was a real connection with autonomy, and I was either looking to use my time to help others because I felt that was the only way that I was of worth. Well, that was pretty much all I was using my time for when I stop and think about it. It was a handover of my time thinking that was the thing that would give me worth. And so the concept of having time for myself was a little unthinkable, really. So I've stepped over the years from having been a clinician where I spent all my time trying to fix other people, which is an old pattern for me going right back to my childhood, and not sensing in myself when that was actually really detrimental to my own health, to moving into the coaching arena where I realised that I can't fix anybody. And that the journey is a way different journey about guiding people back to their own autonomy. And this full bloom process to me is just the most spectacular way of women sharing a journey together back to who they are and back to their own autonomy. And I can't think of anything more powerful or anything better to do with your time or your money than to take that journey back to who you are. And the world at the moment, I think, is in a really incredible space that we're realising that that whole concept of the guru or the person out there who's going to fix things for you doesn't exist anymore. You know, we are in a space now where it's up to us, and we all have this amazing dream and these amazing gifts to offer. And it's that journey back to self that we can only do in the company of other like-minded people who can hold a space for us and nurture us, as women are so good at doing, but also knowing when to push us that little bit so that we can stay on our growth edge that Emma referred to. So it's a beautiful space to get into. It's a bit of a scary space for the coaches, I think, as well as those of you who are contemplating full bloom. And I actually found a beautiful little poem as I was sitting here before. I've just been doing some interesting trickster training with an interesting lady over in the States called Carolyn Casey. And this is a poem from a great couple of young women called Climbing Poetry, who I met in Findhorn a couple of years ago. And it's just called A World Where. I want to live in a world where freedom is love, and love is God expressed in every breath unexpectedly, where forgiveness has a home, never endings come to rest in. I want to live in a world where courage to be courageously you is not at all that courageous.
Perfect, Nikki. Thank you. Courage to be you is not that courageous. It's just would be the norm. That's amazing. Thank you. I'm going to hand over now to Phoebe, and just remind you to draw back to your dream. What is your dream? You know, at the moment you're here listening to us, but remember, what is it that you're wanting to dream? Phoebe?
I'm just sort of processing Nikki's energy there. I think it's for those who have been on one of these calls with us, we've done a few, and I hope that you're also feeling the shift in energy and the softening and the truthfulness that is, and the allowing that we as coaches are experiencing. Nikki, I can feel I can feel you on the edge of emotion, and I'm hoping that those of you who haven't been on that call are not too confronted by that, because it's what you're actually looking for. Just give me a moment while I just sort of, what's happening for us here in the collaborative of the full bloom is that all that rural women have been had. Can you still hear me? I'm going to allow this to just come through because it's been sitting here for the last month. as the reality of what is happening in full bloom is really coming to the fore. Women are the answer to the future. We are nurturing, we are soft, we are gentle, we are creative, we are collaborative. And rural women have been living in this environment of opposition to that. We've been living in opposition to everything that we stand for. We're being asked to watch as nature is destroyed and sprayed with chemicals and cropped and ploughed and reaped and absolutely just harvested for the good of a system that we as women don't believe in. And we suffer that collectively in silence because the organisation and the structures that sit around that, the committees and the boards and the banking system and the finance, is all a different paradigm to that which we really know to be true. And so in full bloom, we have the opportunity to shift that paradigm absolutely on its head. And no amount of money or value, you can't put a value on that. So that, so I think we've all, as coaches, we've been struggling because in our souls and in our hearts, we know that this process just has to occur. We have to come together the way that we are. We have to embrace the technology that is being given to us and honour the feelings that are coming through us. But yet we're being asked to do that in a world that still is economically based and is still, you know, needing to pay the rent and put the food on the table and feel a success. So I don't have the answers. What I have is the knowing that there is a different way. And that together, if we don't start listening to that voice that is making us feel so low and so depressed and so flat and so grey, then we just must. We just must. We as women, we must start listening to the gifts that we are and create the new paradigm that we all know can exist.
Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you very much. That's about as articulate as I've ever heard you in all of the years that I've known you. I'm so proud of you right now. You've no idea. Amazing. Thank you. Let's just all take a nice big deep breath in and just honour all of it. So I'm going to hold the space for a minute for Gabe and Christy. Neither of them were able to be here with us today actually, although both of them are here with us in spirit. Christy's got training sessions. She's a personal trainer, and so she's got sessions with the amazing women she works with. And Gabe works in an organisation that serves people that need real help, that are really needing survival help, which is really awesome. But in terms of the gifts that they both bring to Full Bloom, I think you'll see just the energy that each of us brings is very different, but the power is collective, and that even though they're not here today, they are with you. Gabe's a spiritual adventurer, and when she speaks, you listen. She's about helping us reconnect to nature and to honour the spirit that lies within us. And that's why I keep asking you to come back to the dream. In fact, it's Andrew who, it's funny because it's been a non-rural man in a funny way, Andrew, that we've been working with on some of the behind the scenes stuff, who's helped us shift to this point. We had a conversation the other day and he said, Rebel, when he was at his lowest ebb, he doesn't realise it, but he's doing Full Bloom too at the moment with us. He said, when I was at my lowest ebb, I'd forgotten how to dream. And I got a tear in my eye because I realised I was the same. That I'd had that same epiphany, that when I was at my lowest ebb, I had forgotten how to dream. And it's Emma has said it and Phoebe has said it. And we live in a world where we've got to put food on the table and we've got to make ends meet and we've got to do the do, and we feel compelled and obliged to help people and give our time away, as Nikki said. But if we lose the ability to dream and to connect with our spirit, the truth of who we are, then we lose ourselves and the quest for what we think we're supposed to have. And Andrew has really helped me to guide and to create the space for all of us to come to this point as well. And I know Gabe's holding that space at the moment. She's in that space where she's in a job because she's passionate about what she does, but she really wants to be here today and hold and honour the truth, because she and I met in my shop in Lightning Ridge only weeks ago, and she just knew she'd found her tribe. That's how powerful this program is. The women that are connecting, all of the coaches as well as all of you who are exploring this with us, you're here for a reason. And Christy's the same, So I think I'm going to hand over to Diana now so that she can share her wisdom, and we'll keep moving through. So let me just unmute.
Hear me?
The floor is yours, Diana.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm hoping it's not going to be too noisy because there's just cars and stuff moving.
Perfect.
My story is follows on from some of the things that have been said, in that I grew up in a very rural area in a wheat and sheep area, and I watched families struggle and I saw families leave, and I didn't realise till later that perhaps it wasn't their decision to leave. Financially that was out of their hands. And so my mission, I guess, became, how could I help families like that? How could I make a difference? And particularly, I guess, as I grew up and married and had a child and then unmarried, so, life was hard, and I went into accounting thinking that's where I could make a difference to rural families, with the money, with the numbers, with the finance. And certainly as someone who then bought the accounting practice and was on my own with my child, I definitely understood the struggles and the challenges and the feelings around that. So as well as on my financial side with the accounting and financial planning and lots of other business development that I added to that, I looked into how I could serve these families, and I went and did a whole heap of study, and still almost 20 years later I'm still working in the space of counselling and mindset. A lot of, I'm not a qualified psychologist, but a lot of study around psychology and how that all works. And then for many years I had this duality going on, because I had all the financial work that I was doing and then the counselling work that I was doing, and they sort of seemed to be at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of, how the world functioned. And over the last probably 10 years, I've brought those together in combining our dreams that we want in reality, emotionally, spiritually, with our family, for ourselves, with how do I make that work with the numbers? How do I understand the numbers? How do I feel financially empowered? How do I feel stable and secure, and understand the feasibility and all of those things to implement our dream and the passion that we want to follow. For me, in the business world, I felt like I had arrived when I bought a BMW. That was my, yes, this is what wealthy, successful people do. And as Emma said, I'm still me. I then managed to, you know, work my way through and buy a home on acreage in a rural community, and that's where I wanted my children to grow up. And obviously there was, you know, financial challenges around that, but that was part of my bigger vision. And that's what I work with women on, how do I maintain my family and well-being and hang on to that dream. Things like the terminology. How do we take the fear and confusion and uncertainty out of talking about money and the financial conversations? How do we take the conflict out of those conversations when we're discussing that with our spouses or intergenerational families like on farms? How do we understand debt and set up our borrowing structure to suit us and not the banks? Understanding superannuation, investments, estate planning, legal needs, business development, marketing strategies, staff management, all of those sorts of things. So everything that we can put in place to feel stable and secure, to me, comes down to having the structure, the strategy and the sequence, and feeling empowered around that without needing to know all the little nitty-gritty bits, but just so that we've got a handle on it and that we can have the conversations and make informed decisions and combine what feels like a duality in maintaining our passion to meet with the numbers.
Thanks, Diana. It is, I think one of the words that springs to mind in what you just said, and certainly the other ladies, is that wholeness, isn't it? And often we think that we've got to give up on our dreams because of money, or because we're afraid of money, or because we're afraid of what we don't know and fear what we don't know. And so I think that's the power of the 9, you know, the 9 coaches of the Rural Woman, is that not only are you in a room in this program with women who have been successful and realised success wasn't actually what they were questing for, but who have had the experience, who have the skills and the mindset to be able to, you know, help you with the next steps. We've always said that Full Bloom was about obviously the gathering of the collective, but also that it's about fresh eyes. So when you're looking at your own stuff, you can't see the wood for the tree often, you know, you're in it, so you're not getting the perspective. But that with this program, you've got fresh eyes, you know, fresh sets of eyes from each of the coaches, but also from the other people as well. And the next step. So it's not about having to eat the whole elephant at a time. It's like, what are the simple next steps to help you make your dream real, to help you get it from just here, or a tiny little silent, almost gone memory, to just a little bit closer to reality, or where it's, you know, starting to become a tangible thing in your life, you know, or that you're starting to dream every day instead of not at all. And I think it's a really powerful thing, that notion of wholeness. And it's funny because it's actually something Phoebe taught me when we first started working together a couple of years ago, when we were digging uncomfortably about what is it that you want, you know, what do you really, really want? And that's, you know, that's what I'm asking you now. What is it that you really, really want? What are you here for? And Phoebe got to it eventually. She was cross with me for a while, and it was wholeness. And I've never forgotten that, because it comes up time and time again. It's that, and Emma briefly touched on it as well, the polarity. I'm here and I'm here and I'm here and I should want to be here, but I actually want to be here. And how do we merge the two so that we're feeling whole, so that we're fully blooming, not just blooming in one area of our life, but our entire lives? It's so exciting. So Shane also sends her apologies and love today, and is holding the space. Shane's taught me so much as well about systems. She's the uber pragmatist, like Diana. They're the grounding, earthing, pragmatic people that I've needed in my life personally, and that's why they're here, because I know other people need them too. But Shane is highly intuitive as well, you know. Have a conversation with her 1 minute about structures and strategies and 12-year plans, and then the next minute you're talking about colour therapy and and the Spirit says, you know. And that's what I love about everybody here, is that at the core of us, we're deeply connected to, you know, Source, to ourselves, and to that there's more to life than just the doing, you know, that we are human beings at the first and foremost, and the doing comes as important, but it's second. So I'm going to hand over to Samil now, and I'm going to unmute you, Samil, so that you can take the floor. You're good to go.
Hello everyone, great to be here. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the question of confidence, but specifically how that relates to storytelling, so having the confidence to tell your own story. I've been a journalist for 22 years or something now, and over that time I've come to realise that everyone really does have their own story. For me, it was telling the stories about people who had inspirational tales that fired me up, which is why I went on to start Inspired magazine. So I profile eco-warriors and love spreaders and game changers, all these incredible people in the world. And through doing that, I came to, I think, more than ever understand the power of storytelling, and not just in general, but in helping you to live the life of your dreams. So for me, with Full Bloom, what I'm really excited about doing is taking people and helping them with their confidence on that journey of telling their own story to live their dreams. And their dreams could be anything. It might be just that you want more self-awareness, because considering your own story just provides this amazing level of self-awareness, and helps you to try and work out what you want your story to be in the future as well. So you can take it from a real insightful level like that. Or maybe your dream is more that you want to tell your story to inspire others, or to record history, or to speak to people on a blog or a web page. There's so many different ways that you can tell your story. So my job will be giving you the confidence to do that, and the way that I'll be doing that is breaking it down and making it easy. You know, we'll look at practical writing strategies, like considering your theme, the thing that defines you, and how you can use that to work out what you write about, what you leave in, and what you take out. And also really other practical strategies, like how you can use fiction writing techniques to really liven up your story so people are interested in it. I do believe everyone has a story, but some people struggle to tell it more than others. So we're going to look at the techniques that make it easy for you to tell it. And another big thing that Stevie has just demonstrated to us so beautifully is the power of speaking in authentic voice. So speaking from the heart, not what you think people want to hear, or not the professional you. It's about being really real about why you do what you do and why you live the life that you live. So we'll be doing a lot of work on that as well. And then talking about, if you're comfortable, how you want to share that story with the world, whether it's self-publishing your own book, dealing with publishing houses, getting online, publishing a blog. There's so many different options. So we'll be looking at the practical ways that you can do that. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you, Samil. It's if you haven't found inspired.org.au, I got that right, didn't I? You should check it out. There's Samil's a beautiful writer, and she tells other people's stories really incredibly, and you're going to learn a lot through the process. We are our stories, essentially, aren't we? That's who we are, and we can tell a story and have it be the truth, and we can change our stories too. You know, like Samil said, you know, you can write the ending, you can rewrite the ending, and there's so many amazing people. And you might be one of them, who has had challenging parts of their lives, who have made a decision to not live into the challenging story, you know, to not keep retelling the same story of pity or sadness or struggle or pain, and to actually listen to the inner light, that little pilot light within you, and fan that flame to tell a new story, to tell a big dream story, and to take all those challenges and bundle them up into the story that you say, yes, I've struggled, but I'm not going to live into that anymore. I'm going to buy into a new story. And I think that's what Full Bloom is all about, is each of us coaches creating a new story about how you have to work with people, you know, about how you should lead, about how you're helping people, you know, the way that each of us has individually worked over a period of time is on our own. And we're writing a new story, but actually collectively and collaboratively we can have a greater leverage, a greater ability to help people change their lives, to create their dreams and live into them. And so we're each writing new stories as well about how we connect and how we make a difference. And so I just invite you to reflect again, what is the dream that you're wanting to reconnect with? What is it that you're here for? And if you've got any questions at all, please pop them in and ask us. We'd be happy to get you on live if you've got a question that you'd like to ask. This is what the Full Bloom program is like. You know, we're a group of women getting together. We're not perfect, you know. We are humble, real human beings. We're not robots, and we're not demigods, and we're not, what did you call them, Nikki? I can't remember the word you used, but you know, the all-seeing, all-knowing. By all means, we are working on ourselves as much as as much as anything, really. So if you've got anything that you need support with, that's what Full Bloom's for. So you've got the opportunity now. If you're struggling with something, if you want fresh eyes or the next step, pop it in there. We're happy to help. And in the meantime, if you've got questions specifically about Full Bloom, we're happy to answer them. I'll just quickly share my screen for a minute and just show you the page in case you haven't seen it. The Full Bloom page, I'll pop the link. One of the girls might like to pop the link up. I keep forgetting to do that. But it gives you the information about how the program is actually delivered. We've got fortnightly sessions. We get together every fortnight. The first session in the month is a 1 to 1.5 hour live presentation by the coach that's hosting that month, where they'll share their knowledge and their wisdom and their insights and part of their story too. There'll be a bit of Q&A available there, and that will really set the tone for the month. And then the second session in the month is a group coaching call, and that's very much you know, the opportunity for you to come and say, I'm needing this. You know, I've got a question about something, and you'll be able to get the support that you need from the coach that's hosting that month. In between times, we've got a dedicated private forum that's available, and that's where each of the coaches will be available in that space. Again, if you've got questions or you need support or you're wanting to celebrate, you know, one of the things I love the most about this forum is that it'll be a space where you as a rural woman can come and get virtual high fives, fist pumps, chats, you know, cheering squad on the sideline for the stuff that you're getting right, you know, for the little wins. And I keep forgetting to share this, so I'm going to take the opportunity. Yesterday, had a call, I can't even remember a name, from the author of The Dressmaker. You know, the Australian movie that just won all the awards. So we'd reached out to her to do a podcast with her, and Leanne gets her on the phone. She's like, Rebel, this lady's on the phone. I didn't know the name. And because I've got so many people I'm talking to at the moment, I just thought she was a Bloom applicant. So I'm looking for a name, and then I'm saying to Leanne, who is it? She's like, the lady that you wanted to podcast with. I'm on the phone to the author of a bloody award-winning movie. Got no idea. And she agreed to do a podcast. Like, I want to share that. That's what you can share. Like the crazy, amazing things that happen to us on the daily basis that we just let float past in the sea of all the other stuff that we focus on, which isn't going right. This is the place, you know, this is the place where you can share those exciting moments, where you hit your income goals, where you welcome a new client, where you got your kids in bed by 7 o'clock and that's a mean feat, you know. This is the place where you can share those as well as get support, because we know that in rural communities sometimes you don't have that space. People tear the tall poppy down, you know, they're not keen for you to share your wins, and we want to hear those. We want to cheer with you and be excited and cry with you and laugh with you, because we know that that's not an easy thing to find in your community. We're getting together twice, once at the end of the month, this month in Coffs Harbour, beautiful, will be nice and warm there, and in September here in Lightning Ridge, in my hometown. And both of those places have been chosen for a reason. They're healing places for women, and our events, as Diana can attest to, are really nurturing spaces. She's just finished an event in Daylesford, one of our wealthy treats, and we well and truly look after you there, as well as give you amazing content, and the coaches will be hosting sessions at each of those events. And then we're offering support as we need it. So if someone's really needing something extra and a coach can see that they can help them, then they'll dive in and help. Whatever you need, you will get here. We've got women here that have grown multi-million-dollar companies, that have fallen in a heap on the floor, that know exactly how you feel. We've all been through stuff, you know. We've done the marketing, we've done the sales, we've grown property portfolios, we've launched new businesses, we've struggled and failed, and we've cried too many tears to count. And each of us wants to bring 100% of ourselves to you. This month at the Rural Woman, we're focusing on the virtue of excellence, and I can say that that is what Full Bloom's all about, is the excellence, and we will be bringing our excellence to you in whatever you need to the table. And this program is all about you. So again, I just ask you to tune into what is it that you want. What do you need the most now at the moment, and what are you here for? What if we were having this conversation again in 12 months' time? What's your life like? What is different for you? What dream has come to the surface? What doesn't show up for you anymore? What is it that you're really looking for? The program itself is an investment of $998 a month, and that, someone asked the other day, that includes both of the events, and is a worthwhile opportunity for you to really get clear on who it is that you want to be, who you are in the world, and to come and play with these amazing women, to learn from them, and also to be guided by them, and to stretch and grow yourself in new ways that you never thought possible. So I'm happy to open the floor if anyone's got any questions. If any of the coaches want to say something, please just wave at me and I'll unmute you. It's a really amazing opportunity, and if you want to talk to one of us, we're more than happy to have a conversation. On that page, there's a 1300 number. Just give that a buzz. Pop in a note in the chat, and we'll be sure to make a call to you. If you've got any other questions, please just give us a shout. Yep, we'll definitely be able to come up with any. So I'm just reading the chat there. The events, actually, we're looking at how we live stream both of those, you know, because we're all about the technology. Diana just hosted the Wealthy Treat in Daylesford, and I just live streamed in from that in Lightning Ridge, and it worked really well. So we're actually just tweaking our technology at the moment to be able to make those events accessible even if you can't be in the room. And the feedback that we've had from that event is that it was still amazing, and that people were still able to get great value. So it's, I guess it's about the intention that you come with. What is it that you're looking for? What do you want? And if you are clear on that, and we can help you get clarity on that, if you need the support to get clarity on that, you'll get it in spades. Do any of you other ladies want to say anything? I can't see Diana. She's in the car now. It's about live streaming. Technology is amazing, isn't it? I was just like, I want the MBM people to see this. But, we're all the way. I think that I see what we're doing here at the Rural Woman is actionism rather than activism. You know, we're not complaining about what we don't have access to. We're just bloody using it and making it happen and making it the best possible use of it. Go, Phoebe.
Hello. I was just thinking, because this webinar has been so different to the past webinar and everything is changing so quickly. So when we created Full Bloom, we had a vision, and that is changing all the time. What I would love, and I'm sure all of us would love, is just feedback of any form. You know, obviously the Full Bloom program as it is needed to be in a structure that we could put out to market. But if there's bits of it that are really resounding with you and bits that just making you feel quite uncomfortable, just let us know so that we can either modify it or create the next program or the next space or whatever. But we're just needing, I just get this sense at the moment, Reb, that we are really needing that outside guidance and some fresh eyes, because we've all become very close to Full Bloom and potentially forgotten how scary it is to be alone.
Yeah, I think it's true, and I've been seeking that from others as I've been, you know, talking with women and you know, asking them the same, because like us in our lives, when you're in it, you can't always see the wood for the trees, and we're so passionate about you know, what we know this program can offer, but of course it's all about you. So please, feedback, questions, comments, all of it is very, very welcomed. Yep, Nikki, I'll unmute you. Thanks, Phoebe. Yep, you're live to go, Nikki.
I mean, I think one of the things that is such an amazing strength of this Full Bloom program, and probably the bit that has had me feeling a sense of discomfort, is that this to really be a powerful program as it's going to be, it's the realness of it and the in-timeness of it that's so vital, which is that challenging thing when somebody's trying to explain something, or people on the other end are trying to understand what's going to come from that, is that we don't fully know, because if we did, it wouldn't be real. You know, that unfolding of our dreams and that interconnection that comes in relationship is a moment-by-moment thing. And I know in my heart that each of us has got all that it takes, and how it's going to flourish in this ecosystem, we won't know until it's all planted. And that's just one of those really interesting spaces that we're living in at the moment. And it's what, you know, to me, the world is calling forth. We can't have these boxed, formatted things anymore, because by the time you've created the box, it's out of fashion. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, the world is moving so rapidly, and but I do think, Nikki, that we're, you know, as a group, that we're. Yep, you go. Sorry.
No, I was finished.
Oh, it just you came late with something else. I think that we are clear on the outcomes, and I think for us, though, the outcome is you'll bloom where you're planted, and you'll decide. It's not up to us to decide what your dream is, or how you're going to bloom, or where, or in what way. But that we are, each of us, giving 100% of what we know, and in full integrity, the vulnerability of that, sharing the tools and the strategies and the please don't do it this way, but if you have to, do it because you'll learn it in a different way, that each of us brings. But it's not our job to decide what you want. We can say our intention is, and I think very clearly that when we all came together, that the coach's intention was that the rural women that join us on this journey will bloom where they're planted. And we will do the same in the process. You know, each of us is growing as well. But that how she does that And in what way she does that is entirely up to her. And I've even found myself in conversations wanting to try and find people with a return on investment, you know, okay, how many more clients have you got to get, and into that paradigm of righto, but, you know, because people want the outcome. At the end of the day, we want you to live the life that you want. And at the moment, if you are, but you're not allowing yourself to, like Emma and had described, you know, you reach the pinnacle and all of a sudden you realise, well, that wasn't what I expected it to be. Or like Diana and the Mercedes, you know, it's not the Mercedes that defines you, it's who you are, and you're still the same person in that car. It's not our job to decide what your outcome will be. It's our job to hold the space for you as you figure that out, as you get clear on it, and then as you absolutely allow that to unfold in your life. And we cheer and scream and cry on the sideline and help you in whatever way we can do that. It makes it a challenge to market. But it's amazing. And already the women that are curious about this program's lives are changing. You know, the women that I'm speaking to every single day that have applied, their lives are different just because they asked, just because they said, I'm interested. Their lives are different, and I think that's amazing. Diana's in a Toyota. I love it. I love it. Well, ladies, if there's no other question, beautiful raw women, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I love how evolving these webinars are. Kind of just want to keep doing them to see what happens in the next one. And if you've got questions, if you want us to follow up with you, just reach out, 1300 number, or email rebel@therrw.biz, or pop in your details. And there's lots of ways to connect with us. We're here and we're ready to support you. So thank you so much for being here. And as always, beautiful Raw Women coaches, thank you too. And we'll see you on the next iteration. Thank you, everyone.